Hi ladies, Matt Schaefer here, your empowerment, relationship, and connection coach. I am obsessed with helping you create deeper connections both within yourself and within the lives of the people around you, especially your romantic partner. All right, I love working with those kind of women. So if you're one of them, feel free to hit the subscribe button and sign up for my channel so you can be alerted whenever I'm uploading new content. And today I am so excited to talk to you about this subject because we're going to talk about things that women think that men want that we actually don't. So these are things that women tend to do to try to attract a man or keep a man in their life that actually end up turning him off or repelling him, or just really, it gets you the opposite result. Okay, so be sure to stay towards the end because I'm going to give you guys an awesome gift that's really going to help you not only attract better men, but also create the relationship that you want with them. Because it really isn't just about attraction, right? This is really about creating a relationship that's going to benefit you in the longer term for your life, at least as far as I'm concerned. All right, so this first thing that you really want to watch out for, you do not want to do this, is you do not want to be intentionally aloof or gamey or overly, withdrawn, And so this is very important because I think a lot of the how to get the guy coaching that I see out in the space is all around, you don't want to show him too much. You want to be like a cat with the string and keep the string away from him and keep him. And while there is a value to being somewhat, mysterious, being a challenge for him, being something for him to figure out, I do see the value in that. Don't play games for the sake of playing games. Don't wait 4 or 5 hours to text him back as a rule. Don't have hard and fast rules around staying aloof with him or playing games with him. Because here's the thing, ladies. What do you want? What's the intention behind what you're trying to create here? You're trying to create trust. You're trying to create genuine connection. You're trying to create a relationship. You're not going to be able to do that if in the early stages you're using all these, prescribed techniques to keep yourself aloof and unavailable and everything else. That is not laying a foundation for intimacy, trust, and connection. And here's the funny, a little secret I'll tell you about men. We want connection too. We want to feel safe too. We want to feel that you're someone that we can trust. We do. We just want to also feel that you have enough value for yourself that you hold your frame with us. Okay? So don't just be aloof and play games for the sake of playing games. Don't have rules around that. Be open, be genuine, be authentic with a man that you want to be with, and communicate to him in a high value, non-desperate way that you're interested in him. And if he's a high value, connected man, he's going to respond to that. And if he's not, he'll go away. And that means that that's perfect because you don't want to be with that kind of guy anyway, right? All right. So tip 2 on this, something you absolutely do not want to do is, speaking about being high value and all that sort of stuff, you don't want to be a pretzel. You don't want to be overly agreeable. You don't want to drop all of your preferences, all of your likes, all of your frames to pretzel around what he wants. You can't do that because we pick up on it. If we get a sense that a woman is just being a doormat for us, we create an assumption that she doesn't have enough value of herself to really stand in her power with us. And so then she loses value in our eyes, especially if this happens at the early stages of getting to know somebody, right? Like however you show up, however much you believe in yourself, however much you love yourself, we're gonna take your word for it because we don't know you yet. The greatest example we have to understand how valuable you are is how you show up, your ways of being, and how you feel about yourself, right? So if all you're doing is just pouring on and asking us questions and agreeing with everything we say and not like standing up for yourself and being like even maybe a little disagreeable, being a little challenging, playing with us, giving us some sass back and forth, if you're not willing to do that, we get bored. We get bored and we assume that you don't have that much value for yourself, so why should we value you enough to be in a relationship, in a longer term, more invested relationship? So that's one to really be a little careful with, right? All right, so number 3, and this is also extremely important, is that women like to think that men want sex, like that we want early sex, we want aggressive, we want all that stuff like right up front. Bottom line, guys, we don't, or ladies, we don't want that. And the men that do want that, the men that are going out there with like the dedication to try to like close the deal or seal the deal on the first couple dates, those are generally speaking not the kind of men that you want to be in long-term relationship with. Now, I'm not saying you can't, and this is the thing, I'm not gonna sit here and make a moral judgment on you, on anything. I'm not gonna say that you can't sleep with a guy on the first date and it can't grow into something beautiful. Sometimes it can. But in general, when you have sex with a man very early on, first 2-3 dates, there tends to be a bit of a devaluation that happens, you know, because men, we do want to feel that a woman is grounded in her values and she wants to make us work for it. Like men love obstacles. Men love to overcome things. Men love to invest in projects. We appreciate that, and that generates value for us. So a woman who, you know, gradually lets us in physically, we appreciate that. And that doesn't mean don't be physical with him, because again, for most men, physical touch is a primary love language. So from the beginning, if you are interested in him, for God's sake, show him, subtly touch him on the date. Let your hand rest on his hand. For that, in an early stage date, if you can just like let your hand touch the man's hand and just leave it there on a first date, that can be electrifying to a man. And I want you to let go of your stories that has to mean that that's you promising that you have to sleep with him later. That isn't promising anything other than the fact that you're communicating to that man in a language that he understands and that he resonates with, that you're interested in him. So casual touching is very important. A kiss, you know, a romantic kiss, important. But going full Monty on the first couple dates is generally not going to get you the outcome that you want, because if a man gets what he wants that easily, sometimes he's gonna go away, right? So just be conscious of this when you're going out and you're meeting with men. I'm talking to clients out there who are like, I slept with this guy on the 3rd date and now he won't message me back. And it's like, well, you know, you meet a guy on the internet, you don't have any context to understand, or you don't have any context on a man you met on the internet. Just bottom line, you know, you meet a guy on the internet, and even if you've gone on a couple dates with him, you don't have a lot of context on him. And then if you just sleep with him and you're just intimate with him, that's a lot of trust you're sharing with somebody. So just be conscious of that, know your boundaries, know your values, and don't just sleep with a man on the first couple dates if you're looking to foster that long-term gradual growth in relationship, all right? And another thing, and this is so important, is that while women think that they need to be immaculate and that they're at their most attractive when they're in this immaculate, overly put together state, you know, this pristine sort of like polished thing, all right? And that's why they do all their makeup, the hair's all done, the clothes are all done, and it's just this like overly polished look. And here's the thing, that's how women may feel the most attracted to themselves, but men are not necessarily drawn to an overly polished woman. A lot of times a man can see a woman who is like very done up, very pitch perfect, and he can interpret that as high maintenance. He can interpret that as a woman who might have a lot of ego. He can interpret that as a diva. He can interpret that as a woman who might be a little rigid and kind of a control freak around the way that she shows up out in the world. For a man to be drawn, so I'm just saying, like, for a man to be drawn to the feminine, we love to feel a woman's like untamed spirit, you know? We love a woman who's got some warmth and some softness to her. And a lot of times softness, you know, the hair being a little wild, not having on a ton of makeup, like we want to feel the real, raw, authentic feminine that you are. That's what we love. And I'm not saying there aren't occasions where we don't want to get all dressed up and be to the nines. And if you're going to an opera or you're doing something, by all means, dress up. And there's nothing wrong with dressing up. But don't feel like you always have to present this polished image to him. Because I'm telling you, some of the most magnetic and most beautiful I've ever seen women that I've been in a relationship in my life is first thing in the morning with their hair all messed up and the morning breath and wearing a t-shirt or nothing. You know, that's when a woman is often at her most primal, magnetic feminine, is in that raw state. And men, we are drawn to that raw state. That's a magnetic force for us. So don't feel like you always have to be to the nines with a guy. You can literally be in a t-shirt and a nice pair of jeans and a pair of flip-flops and be the most beautiful thing he's ever seen, okay? Or wearing nothing at all, you know? I mean, there's no rules in this, but just know that men are not, we're really not as picky with that aspect of women as they are with each other, okay? So what you wear to impress your girlfriends and show up to your girlfriends in a way to impress them might not be the same thing that would really draw in and excite a man. So guys, those are just a couple little things that I think are important for you to understand, is that you don't have to play games and be aloof to get a man. That's gonna push him away, right? You don't wanna be overly agreeable. You don't wanna be a pretzel. You don't wanna just give him what he wants and be a doormat to him around and put all your preferences and everything to the side. You don't just wanna sleep with him right away or be super physically intimate with him short term. The men that do want that right off the bat are not necessarily the men that you want to be in a relationship with. And I'm not saying men aren't going to try. And sometimes nice guys are going to try too. Just because somebody asks for that doesn't mean that he's bad, doesn't mean that he's evil, but it can short circuit the natural growth and evolution of a relationship. And last but not least, don't feel that you always have to be polished, that you always have to be fully done up in order to attract a man. It oftentimes can create actually the opposite effect and make you seem like you could be challenging, you may be difficult, you may be a little too rigid. And I'm not saying that's how you actually are, but men are always coming up with, you know, stories, right? And we're always, you know, we have a lot of anxiety and fear around relationships too. So we'll be looking for reasons to find that, you know, that there's danger with you or that you're someone that we should avoid or whatever else. So don't give a man any reason like that. Just be yourself, be authentic, be real, be warm, be connected, be magnetic, be that feminine force that we are drawn to. And you're gonna have much better luck, especially in the early stages of cultivating attraction with a man. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I am offering, guys, free discovery coaching calls. That is the gift that I want to give you. There should be a link to sign up for one through some schedule slots that I do open up down to my schedule. If there's nothing open, feel free to send me an email to matt@mattschafer.com and I will fit you into my schedule as new spots open up. And I hope you love this video. Hit the subscribe button and I will see you next time. Have a good one.